Hi Resonators, welcome to Tammyosity. I'm Tammy, and today I'm making another gift for a client that just got married at our wedding venue. So this is a gift for the newlywed Shelleys. These are the colors I'll be using: acrylic paint in sage green, cheap art mica powder in coffee color, and copper mica powder. The mold I'm using is a single serving tray, and it also comes with molds to make the handles, so I'll be able to make matching handles to go on the serving tray. The bride's favorite color is emerald green, so I'm creating this tray with a background color for the emerald green that I'll be using. Because emerald green is her favorite color, I figured this is a great opportunity to try working with foils. Foils is new for me. I've never used it before. This will be my first time doing that, and I'm kind of nervous but also excited to try something new. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but my dog is snoring in the background. She's snoring while I'm doing the voiceover. Oh, I love to hear her snore. It's so soothing. It makes me want to go to sleep. I'm working with a heat mat from Let's Resin, and I really love the heat mat. It helps to eliminate some of the bubbles when you're working with something that is thin, and it also keeps the resin from moving too much. I've used this mold one other time before, and what I didn't like about it is that the resin on all of the edges starts to move in towards the center. So the shape, the pattern that I'm creating here didn't hold. I'm hoping that because I'm using the heat tray with it, the heat mat under this mold, that it will hold the pattern that I'm creating. The coffee and the copper mica powders, they're so similar, and yet they are just different enough that it's almost like velour. You know when you touch velour and you get these different shades even though it's all the same color? That's kind of what this reminds me of. They're just different enough that it's almost the same, but it's not the same. Unfortunately, the heat mold didn't hold the pattern. It still moved in from the center, so bummer, but it's still gorgeous. Look at it. Now I'm going to move on to the handles, and this is the mold for the handles. I am going to pour just a little bit in the bottom, squish it around a little bit, making sure that there's no bubbles there, and then I'll finish doing that pour. On the handles, I didn't use the coffee color. It's just a verdi green with the copper. The square mold at the top with a little bit of green and the rocks. I'm actually creating a Dungeons and Dragon game board for my nephew, and that's just one of the pieces. And you know, that creating that is a lot harder than I thought it would be. I thought it would be so easy because I'm just using coasters. I'm going to make a game board, but he wanted to have this kind of fantasy land. Of course, it's Dungeons and Dragons. So I have 3 different areas on the game board where it's coming from space into grass into water, and making that cohesive all in coasters. It's harder than I thought it would be. I thought it would be so much fun. And it's not that it's not fun, but it's taking me so long to do it because it's just so hard to make that all come together working with the coasters. The handles are now ready for demold. So you saw firsthand how resin moves when you pour it while it's curing. So to make sure my handles don't move around in the freshly poured resin, I'm using E6000 to hold it down. And now I need to make a stencil for the adhesive for the foil. So you have to use adhesive for the foil, and I want the foil in this split S pattern that says Shelley, which is the bride's new last name, since this is a gift for bride and groom. You might be wondering why the crazy pattern on my stencil. It's just some leftover vinyl that I had, and I didn't have any other use for this particular pattern, so I'm using it to create the stencil. I'm using a craft sponge to apply the foil adhesive, and the videos that I've watched, the adhesive is not supposed to be too thick, so I'm trying to use it sparingly. Once the adhesive is down, then I'll pull away the stencil and apply the foil. I'm sorry this portion of the video is sideways. I kept trying to put it the right way, right side up, but for some reason it just wouldn't stay. So anyway, you get the gist of it. You can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just pulling away that vinyl, and when I did, I ended up breaking off one of the handles there. I shouldn't have put it on. It was probably too soon to put those on, but that's okay. I'll just reapply those. Reapply the one. You'll see later that I reapply the one that I broke off. So now that I have the stencil off, I have the adhesive ready, and I'm using a brush to brush the foil onto the adhesive. Isn't that a pretty emerald green? Ooh, it's so shiny. Remember earlier I said I had never worked with foils before? Well, it turns out I did not use enough of the adhesive. So, well, now I have what looks like a distressed look instead of full coverage with the foil. But that's okay. I've never done it before, so these things happen and I just have to roll with it. I waited for the foil adhesive to dry before pouring on this clear coat. The clear coat is to protect the foil, but my mold wasn't quite full yet. So I came back in with a little more color on the edges and some clear on the center over the S to make sure that I fill up the mold completely. So I was trying one more time to see if maybe I can keep a pattern here on the edges, but my efforts were futile. It wouldn't hold. It's this mold. I don't know why the edges want to go into the middle of the way they do, but this pattern wouldn't hold. Of course, there's still color there. There's just not this pattern that I was trying to create, which was real disappointing. I mean, it's still a pretty product in the end, but I wanted this pattern. You know, I didn't want the edges to be so blah. You can already see here how the pattern's going away. It's just not going to hold. And here we have this pretty little serving tray for our honeymooners, the Shelleys. The emerald gold, I'm sorry, emerald gold. The emerald green is so pretty and shiny. And the copper and coffee color, it just gives it some depth with a little bit of verdi green that makes it look like it was turning color a little bit. It really turned out pretty. And the bride told me her friend had complimented saying, "Where did this come from?" She goes, "Oh, it's from Rod and Tammy. That's from the venue." So I know she already got some compliments on it, and it's going to look really pretty and sitting on her dining room table or somewhere in her kitchen, probably on the coffee table, maybe. Anyway, it was a lot of fun sharing this project with you. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I can't wait to show you my next project. Thanks, guys.